I love nature. More sparkles.
We have to admit that we didn't like you at first, Audrey. In the original Descendants movie, you were a total mean girl. It was obvious that Ben didn't have feelings for you, but you blamed Mal anyway. And you turned into a total villain in Descendants 3. But your story hit us right in the feels, and by the end of the movie, you had really grown as a character. We're so glad you turned good. Audrey's storyline isn't the only emotional part of Descendants 3. Stay tuned for 10 of the most heartbreaking moments from the latest Descendants movie. Audrey at the proposal. It's easy to think that Audrey just needed to get over Ben and move on, but the way she reacted when King Ben proposed to Mal made us rethink the whole situation.
Will you be my queen?
No!
Yes! Audrey really had feelings for Ben. She'd loved him ever since they were kids. She grew up as the granddaughter of a queen, and she was pretty sure that she would be the queen of all of Oregon. But when she finally realized that it was never going to happen, she was understandably hurt. This me farewell. Can we all agree that Squeaky and Squirmy are the cutest kids ever? These two new VKs were both excited and terrified of going to Oregon, and unlike the core four, these young VKs had a great dad. They love Smee, and Smee loves them. When they were saying goodbye to their dad, we just wanted to cry. Thankfully, they had Carlos to reassure them that they would see their dad again soon, but there was just so much love in that scene. Like father, like daughter. We loved finding out that Hades was Mal's dad. We realized that Hades wasn't nearly as bad of a parent as Maleficent. He really cares for Mal. And these two have a lot in common. Mal's mom would never have given up her source of magic to help Oregon. But when Hades handed over the ember to Mal on his way back to the Isle, we knew he was a good guy. We're so glad they ended up having a father-daughter relationship by the end. The Queen of Mean. Descendants 3 proved just how amazing Sarah Jeffrey is as an actress. We shouldn't have felt bad for Audrey turning into a villain, but the passion and betrayal she felt when she turned into the Queen of Mean gave us chills. We could really see how hurt Audrey felt, and she sang her song with so much heart that we could totally understand why she was acting like a total villain. We even felt a little bad for her. It's definitely one of the most powerful moments in the movie. Poor Beast. Audrey decided a sleeping spell wasn't enough for Ben. She turned him into a beast just like his father had been, and we felt so bad for Ben. He was confused and scared, and when Jay and Carlos found him, he was hurt. But he trusted Carlos to help him get the splinter out of his paw. Carlos was so sweet and gentle, and the beast was willing to trust him. Carlos is definitely going to make a great vet. Family first. Mal knew that shutting down the barrier would keep the new VKs from ever seeing their parents again.
I think that we have to close the barrier. Forever.
These VKs wanted nothing more than to go to Oregon, but they had also been told that they could go back and visit their families. When Celia, Uma, and the rest of the gang found out that the barrier would be closed for good, they had to make an impossible decision. They told Mal they would return to a rough life in the Isle, because that's where their families were. Sleeping Beauty Part 2. Audrey really believed that being the Queen of Mean was her best chance, but her actions totally backfired. She became the victim of her own sleeping spell, just like her mom before her. Seeing her succumb to the enchanted spell was devastating. She was just a hurt teen who was seriously misguided. We felt so sad for her, but most of all, we felt bad for Queen Leah, who looked super worried and devastated. She must have realized that she had pushed Audrey too hard. A tough decision. Mal was the biggest champion for all the VKs on the Isle of the Lost. But when Hades nearly escaped, she had to make an impossible decision. She had to decide between a threat to Oregon or losing everything she had worked for, and she decided that closing the barrier was the only option. It was easy to see how devastated she was by this decision. She knew she was betraying the VKs. The worst kind of lie. Mel really got herself into a mess when she told Evie about the barrier being closed. She left out an important part. She didn't tell Evie that she was the one who made the decision. Evie was telling Mal how she believed that Mal would do the right thing.
I am so glad that you are going to be queen. You will be a part of these conversations. You will stand up for the VKs.
And Mal didn't stop her. We couldn't believe that Mal wasn't telling Evie the truth. We knew this would backfire on her eventually. Bestie betrayal. There was no scene more heartbreaking than when Mal's lies hit the fan. The VKs were so hurt, especially Evie. Her BFF had told a huge lie, and she had betrayed what the core four had worked so hard for. Uma was hurt too. She had just begun to see Mal as a good person. And then all of Mal's friends turned to stone. She was completely alone. This scene got us right in the feels.
Come on! I had no choice!
Which scene do you think was the most heartbreaking? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Give us a big thumbs up and don't forget to click subscribe for more awesome videos. We'll catch you next time.